Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Shohei Ohtani, P. Diddy, 50 Cent. What the hell do all those names have in common? They're about to be talked about right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I'm here, as usual, in my new studio these days, thanks to FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel, the official studio sponsor of the Stephen A. Smith Show. Let me take a moment to pause and express my love and appreciation yet again for all of my followers and subscribers. We have now climbed to have exceeded more than 426,000 followers in the first 8 months. Can't thank y'all enough. If you didn't keep the love coming, I wouldn't be here keeping this coming. Please continue to like and follow the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on YouTube. Just click the bell to get notified of all of our new content. And while you're out there doing that, please don't forget to pick up a copy of my New York Times best-selling book, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes. Just go to straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. Makes for the perfect Christmas gift. Trust me on this. I'll be taking your questions as usual at the end of the show via Twitter, and questions at the end of the show on Twitter or Instagram, or you can just call me at 888-727-5303. That's 888-SAS-5303. Let me get right into it, because I know what y'all are thinking. I know y'all are looking at me right now and you're saying, you know something, Stephen A.? What you got to say now, Stephen A.? What you got to say now? Because Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys met up with the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday night and completely obliterated them from start to finish, winning decisively 33-13. The Sunday victory displayed how much better the Cowboys are since they lost to the Eagles 6 weeks ago. Give them credit for that, okay? The Cowboys put up nearly 400 yards of offense and went 9 of 16 on third downs, scoring on their first 4 possessions. Well, there's a particular stat that was left out. Did you know that there was 9 straight possessions during last night's game and dating back to a week earlier where the Eagles gave up a score? Their offense couldn't stop a damn cold. They can't seem to do anything right defensively these days. Giving up 30 points like it's going out of style, struggling offensively, 5 consecutive games with double-digit deficits. The Eagles are not what we thought they were. They're not what we thought they were. It's just that simple. They've gotten a bit softer. Their secondary can be exploited. You can throw the football on them. You can score on them. I saw Jalen Hurts commit a turnover. By the way, he's got 15 this year. Only had 8 last year. Got 15 this year, okay? One of the league leaders, top 5 dudes in turning the football over. That's Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown not only turned over the football, but he dropped the pass. You had Devontae Smith. He also turned the ball over. Those are their top 3 offensive players, and they turning the ball over. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? But they are no longer one of the 2 best teams in the NFC. That would belong to the San Francisco 49ers and, yes, the Dallas Cowboys. And I know that y'all expect me to troll because you are a disgusting, nauseating fan base, you Dallas Cowboy fans. Y'all get on my last damn nerves, but it's all love. It's all in fun. Sometimes you have fun hating on the Cowboys. You got love loving the Cowboys. It's all good. It's cool. But in all seriousness, Dak Prescott should be a league-leading candidate for MVP honors right now. That's right. I said it. I said it. Dak Prescott should be a leading candidate for league MVP honors. I really, really do mean that. It makes perfect sense when you consider the touchdowns. He's thrown 28 this year. When you consider his completion percentage, when you consider the yards accumulated, which exceeds 269 per game, when you're devoid of a bell cow at the running back spot. Tony Pollard's got skill. He's got elusivity in his repertoire. But the bottom line is he's not an every down back. You look at Coach Mike McCarthy. He promised when he got rid of Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator because he wanted to call plays himself. He got Jerry Jones to bite on that. And Kellen Moore was shipped to Los Angeles to go and work for the Chargers. And don't get me started on them and Brandon Staley's last days as head coach there. The fact is Mike McCarthy has play calling abilities and control now. He said they were going to even things up. He lied. Mike McCarthy lied. They throw the ball an average of approximately 56% of the time and run the football approximately 44% of the time. Is that balance to you a near 12% jump from throwing the football or passing the football to running the football? That's not what happened. That's not what he promised. That's not what he said when he got rid of Kellen Moore and he took over play calling duties himself, just like he had lied affectionately and frivolously, I might add, to get the Cowboys' job to begin with. He also lied about getting control of the offense. He had no intentions of having Dak Prescott and the Cowboys run the football as much as they throw it. This is a passing team. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got Cooks, you got this kid Ferguson at the tight end spot. He's no joke. You got other pieces in play there, and Tony Pollard could still run the football. The Dallas Cowboys are no joke. Their defense is legit. Micah Parsons is that dude. He's the modern-day Lawrence Taylor. Okay? And this kid, Deron Bland, is special. And just imagine if they had Trayvon Diggs and he did not get hurt. Could you imagine how much more lethal that defense would be? The Dallas Cowboys may very well win the Super Bowl within the next 2 years, but it ain't going to be this year. It ain't going to be this year. You cancel that. Because in order to do it, you got to beat San Francisco. And that ain't going to happen. Just want to let y'all know that. Look at the remaining schedule right here. You got the Eagles going against Seattle. Then they play the Giants, Arizona, and then the Giants again. As far as I'm concerned, the Eagles should win their last 4 games. If the Eagles do that, even though the Cowboys are in first place right now, okay, because they got a better divisional record, the reality is that if they both win their final 4 games, the division crown still goes to the Philadelphia Eagles because the Philadelphia Eagles would have a better division and a better conference record. And so if that's the reality, here's the deal. The Philadelphia Eagles will have lucked up because you need home field advantage more so than even the Cowboys right now. Even though I think the Cowboys need it too because they're a different team at home than they are on the road, the Dallas Cowboys, they can travel and wreak havoc. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Philadelphia Eagles. Not at all. But it's nothing compared to what I did not like about what I saw following yesterday's game between the Kansas City Chiefs, who actually lost to the Buffalo Bills in a crucial AFC matchup. Bringing both of their records, bringing Kansas City's record, for the season to 8-5. The game-winning touchdown was called back after wide receiver Kadarius Toney was called offsides on a pass play. Patrick Mahomes was all livid over the call, claiming Toney should have been given a warning by the official. That call is not the reason the Chiefs stand at 8-5. The reality is another wide receiver mistake cost them a win along with the numerous penalties by the offensive line. In case y'all have missed it, here's Patrick Mahomes.
Obviously tough to swallow. Not only for me, but just for football in general. Just to take away greatness like that. For a guy like Travis to make a play like that, and who knows if we win. But as I know, as fans, you want to see the guys on the field decide the game. And that's why last week I didn't say anything about the flag that didn't get called on Marquez. And so, they're human, man. They make mistakes. But, it's every week we're talking about something, and all I can do is go out there and give everything I have. And I'm proud of the guys because that's what we did. And it was a great football game that ended – another great football game that just ended like that. It's just tough to swallow.
Patrick Mahomes may be the greatest quarterback this game has ever seen. I've got Aaron Rodgers up there along with a couple of others. But Patrick Mahomes may very well be the best we have ever seen. And outside of Bill Belichick, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better coach with better credentials than Andy Reid. They both embarrassed themselves Sunday afternoon. They embarrassed themselves. There's no way around it. You cannot have receivers who have accumulated 33 drops on the season, who have run wrong routes. They've ran wrong routes in the past. They did some again yesterday. They dropped passes yesterday yet again. They've turned over the football, and they're going to turn around and say, you know what, maybe we would have won, maybe not, but for that call to be made, what the hell are you lining offsides for if you're a wide receiver? The receiver on the opposite side for Kansas City, he was aligned correctly. Kadarius Toney, who, by the way, caught the lateral from Travis Kelce and ran it into the end zone, you were flagrantly offside. You couldn't damn near see the football because he was blocking it because he was so far above. How do you not know better? This is the National Football League. No wonder you're a former a former first-round pick, and the Giants gave you away for a bag of cookies, a.k.a. a third-round pick. No wonder. How the hell do you make a mistake like that? Now, I'm quite sure he can make up for it because he's got the capabilities to do so, but the reality is that it was a boneheaded play on his part. You have to know alignment. It comes with the game of football. And for those who try to sit up there and parallel the two, oh, it's the equivalent. What if this happened in basketball? Well, it ain't basketball. It's football. We see these rules stringently called all the time. I've seen plenty of people get called for offsides. I've seen plenty of people. When is there a game where we don't see people getting called for false starts? When do we not see that? You can't even. We've seen movement on the line of scrimmage. That's held against you too. It's the game of football. It's applicable with the rules that come with the National Football League. You know this. And you made that mistake anyway. And your excuse is, we're not saying he didn't commit the call. He didn't commit the penalty. We're saying, how could you call it in that moment? That's not how it works. I wish it was, because I don't want officials determining the game either. But you can't do that. If you had a legitimate argument, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you know what you could have done as a legitimate argument and nobody could have refuted what you were saying? The referee should have blew the whistle the minute the play started, as opposed to watching the play unfold, watching him run into the end zone and then throwing the flag. Clearly the flags was a bit too late, no doubt about it. The second they bursted out of the line of scrimmage and the play started, you could have blown the whistle and said false start. You didn't have to let the play unfold. Then we wouldn't be talking about some touchdown that wasn't. But that's not what happened, and that's the way it goes. In the end, Kansas City's, your Chiefs wide receivers suck. Period. I'm not talking about their talent. I'm talking about the litany of mistakes you make. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not a scrub. I don't think Kadarius Toney is a scrub. I don't think anybody that they have, don't get me started with my brother Travis Kelce from another mother and how elite, they might be the best tight end in history. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about the boneheaded plays and the dropped passes that have taken place with the Kansas City Chiefs. What's the matter? Y'all can't handle the pressure? When Tyreek Hill left for Miami and y'all were playing last year, y'all were playing with house money because nobody expected y'all to be Tyreek Hill. And as a result, y'all went there and y'all won a Super Bowl without him. Personnel-wise, the only person you're missing now is Juju Smith-Schuster. Everybody else is still there. What's the problem? It's pressure. Pressure breaks pipes, I guess. I would know. My first pitch wasn't the most flattering thing I've ever done. The pressure got to me. But I'm not a professional player. Y'all are. I'm just saying. Transitioning to NBA action. In-season tournament NBA action. The Los Angeles Lakers made your pops, and congratulations to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the rest of the crew for on Saturday, because the Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament, beating the Pacers 123-109. They were fueled by Anthony Davis, to be quite honest with you. 41 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks. And, of course, series MVP LeBron James, who added 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. The Lakers now have a record of 14-9, same as the NBA champion Denver Nuggets, who are 5th in the Western Conference. The in-season tournament was a success. LeBron James has a lot to do with that. Certainly, the Indiana Pacers have a lot to do with that. Exciting victories over Boston and Milwaukee leading into the championship game. Certainly, the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors and how that in-season tournament game from a couple of weeks back when Sacramento beat them 124-123 had a lot to do with that. We've seen a lot of good action going on in the NBA pertaining to that in-season tournament. But LeBron James clearly stole the show, because he is a superstar, and as Coach Rick Carlisle of the Indiana Pacers said, if there's a Mount Rushmore of basketball, he is on it. There is no doubt about it. But for him to show up and to be as focused as he was, I was there in attendance. I was standing courtside when he was warming up, and he hit 7 straight three-pointers and 15 of 16 three-point shots warming up. I was standing right there. The brother came ready. He came ready. And he came ready, and he showed up, and he showed out. And he brought a level of focus and fervor and determination to it, reminding us why he's a marquee. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between a star and a superstar. See, when you're a star, you got the talent. But superstar status is two things. A is consistency. And B is acknowledgement of the fact that you are the marquee. And instead of shying away from it, you embrace it. That's a superstar. That's the kind of person you walk through the turnstiles to see. And that is what LeBron James provided in this in-season tournament. Now juxtapose that to Zion Williamson, who looked fat, out of shape, unfocused, lethargic, and blasé. You're about 15 years or more younger than LeBron James. He's in his 21st season. Zion Williamson has missed 63% of his games. And he hasn't even completed his 5th year in the NBA yet. That's how pathetic it's been. And this kid is a superstar potential kind of talent. His affliction is food. He can't stop eating. How would I know this? Could it be because chefs in New Orleans love him? That's what I've heard. That could be one reason. Could it be that New Orleans is one of the best cities in America, if not the best city in America when it comes to restaurants and food? Sure. But the ultimate evidence was his belly. I watched this man walk to the free throw line, and I saw his belly bounce. Now, maybe there's something wrong with my eyes, but there's no excuse for an NBA player, professional athlete, on a basketball team to be having his stomach bouncing. There's no excuse for that. Something's got to give. And I hope it's Zion giving more in effort and less chewing. Somebody needs to say it. So damn it, I'm going to say it. Last thing to get to is dual threat star Shohei Ohtani, former member of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, recently signed the richest contract in sports history, joining the Los Angeles Dodgers for $700 million. The contract terms are staggering, y'all. 10 years, $700 million, which eclipses soccer star Lionel Messi's $673 million contract with FC Barcelona and Ronaldo's Al Nassr contract, which is at $536 million. Now, let me say this. Messi's contract is for 4 years, and he's getting paid $168.5 million per year. Ronaldo's is for 2.5 years. He's getting paid $214.5 million per year. Patrick Mahomes is at 45. Shohei Ohtani is at 700. One of the other curious things that enters my mind, we talk about America being a capitalistic society, right? We talk about it being the land of the free, the home for the brave, which is true. But we really talk about its capitalism as what helps America thrive. Well, then why are people elsewhere getting paid more money than the top athletes here? Somebody needs to educate me about that. I'm wondering why. Because you don't see nobody else signing contracts like that. Now, we see the biggest contracts in Major League Baseball, all right, in Major League Baseball history right there. I mean, we got Ohtani, we got Mike Trout now at $426.5 million. We got Mookie Betts. You see that. He's at $365 million over 12 years. We got Aaron Judge at $360 million over 9 years. We got Manny Machado at $350 over 11 years. Francisco Lindor, Fernando Tatis Jr., Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton. Oh my God, don't get me started on Giancarlo Stanton. And of course, Corey Seager for the Texas Rangers. It is what it is. Major props to Shohei Ohtani because here's the reality. It's not 17 games in football. It's not even 82 games like hockey or basketball. This is 162 games where Ohtani is now going to be a DH. So chances are he'll play anywhere from 140 to 150 games a year. When you take that into consideration, do I think he's worth the money based on play? Not if he's just a hitter. I think the combination of him being an elite pitcher along with somebody that can hit, I think he's worth that money. Here's why he's worth the money no matter what, however. Because he's box office. The Asian contingent will follow him wherever he goes. They will fill ballparks, they will fill stadiums, they will fill arenas, they will do whatever it takes to follow that man. And they will spend money to do it. Shohei Ohtani will pay for himself. That is why you look at him and you say, $700 million, $700 million. He's worth it. Yes, he is. And to be in a Dodger uniform, arguably the most storied franchise, second to the Yankees in my opinion, in baseball annals, in the Los Angeles market, yeah, he deserves the money. He deserves the money. 888-SAS-5303 is the number to call. It's 888-727-5303. More to Stephen A. Smith Show. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/SAS and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
We all know how much of a hassle buying a car can be. You spend so much time driving around trying to find the perfect car, negotiating over the price, and worrying about the quality of the vehicle. But not anymore, thanks to Vroom. Vroom is the better way to buy and sell used cars. When you go to Vroom.com, you can shop thousands of cars right from your phone. They have all the popular makes and models and no haggle pricing, so you know you're getting a good deal. Best of all, they'll deliver your new ride directly to you. Vroom stands by its vehicles, too. Every car and truck from Vroom goes through a thorough inspection and reconditioning process and comes with a 90-day limited warranty. On top of that, you have 7 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first, to make sure it's the car for you. And if you don't love it, you can return it. You can also sell or trade in your current car on Vroom, and they'll pick it up for free. Just answer a few questions about your car on the Vroom website, and you'll get an offer in as little as 2 minutes. You have no obligation to sell, so there's nothing to lose. So whether it's buying your next car, selling or trading in your current one, Vroom has you covered. So start shopping today at Vroom.com. That's Vroom.com. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Let me transition to the world of pop culture before I take your calls and messages and get on out of here for the day. Let's just say, as the year 2023 comes to a close, the year has belonged to one individual above all else. Who's that person? How about Taylor Swift? Now, let me tell y'all something right now. This woman right here has dominated the entire year. She's the woman of the year, the artist of the year, and also, now I'm a Beyonce fan all day, every day. Nobody on this planet comes before Beyonce in my eyes. But I gotta tell you something. I'm not one who will ever be accused of listening to Taylor Swift music. You ain't gonna hear me out there and singing her songs or anything like that. But when I took my daughters to that concert and I watched that girl throw down, I said, damn. She turned it out. It was off the chain. I can't deny it. And then it got me to thinking about her history and all that she's been through throughout her wonderful years of being a successful artist. I remember the VMAs in 2009 when Kanye West sat up there and interrupted her speech and all of that stuff, talking about everybody knows who really, really deserved this. It was Beyonce. I mean, damn, even Beyonce was appalled. Jay-Z was appalled. Remember when then President Barack Obama literally called him an asshole. And we've never heard that from a president before. But we heard it that day because class was simply non-existent when it came to Kanye West. Well, guess what? Ironically, pun intended, of course, class is the appropriate word to bring up in this day and age about one and only Taylor Swift. Why? Because there's about 10 universities, there's about 10 courses that are in existence right now with a curriculum, a class that involves Taylor Swift, her name, including one at Harvard. And 300 people have registered for the class. That seems kind of wild, doesn't it? It seems kind of like off the charts, doesn't it? Well, let me throw this at you. Did you know that Taylor Swift, according to the city of Glendale, Arizona, where the Super Bowl was last year, last February, do you know that that city said Taylor Swift's Eras concert generated more revenue for the city than the Super Bowl? It's true. That's the mic drop right there. Taylor Swift is that person. Now, I'm quite sure my man Travis Kelce really, really likes her, enjoys being with her. I'm certainly not implying anything otherwise. Here's all I'm saying. No matter what way you slice it, him being involved with her involves zero losses. Zero. He wins no matter what. Facts, whether you like it or not. Let me move on to the next subject, because it's important to bring this up. It involves P. Diddy and 50 Cent. Now, 50 Cent's been trolling them because, as those of you know, P. Diddy's got some issues, some legal issues, stepped down as a guy running Revolt TV because he's been accused of sexual misconduct and stuff like that. I'm not going to go any further into detail. I don't know what's happened. I know what the accusations entail. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's innocent of all of this. If he's not, that's a different story for somebody else to handle. I hope he's innocent. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because 50 Cent has been mercilessly getting after him, trolling them, teasing them, offering to buy Revolt TV, et cetera, for a decent price, for a low price, of course. He said the sponsors are about to lose you. All I'm going to tell you is this. I see cats like Rick Ross getting into it with 50. I've seen Ja Rule in the past try to get into it with 50, or at least 50 got into it with him. Now it's a P. Diddy thing going on here. That's just the way it is. 50 Cent ain't the one to mess with. Now, just make sure to revisit the situation. Sean P. Diddy Combs. He's had a tumultuous month, y'all, as multiple reports have surfaced accusing the rapper of sexual assault. It's just the truth, okay? We don't know whether it's true or not. Those are the accusations. One person who's not feeling sympathy for him, like I told you, is 50. He seems to be taking pleasure from Diddy's recent misfortune. That's just the way it's been, because they've been feuding for years. And the G-Unit rappers used the latest news about his rival to take multiple shots. All I wanted to say was this: 50 Cent ain't the one to mess with. When this brother commences to trolling you, it has a profound effect in most instances. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. That's not a bad side most people should want to get on. That's all I wanted to say about that. Other than that, I hope these reports and these allegations against P. Diddy are not true. But he has settled one case, and now other cases will probably come down the pike. Let me move on. Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, I thought I was over this damn subject. I really did. Jada Pinkett Smith, leave it to her because she's back in the headlines, after she recently came out and made another comment regarding her relationship with Will Smith. In an interview with Daily Mail's You magazine, Jada said that Will's decision, brace yourself for this, y'all. She said that Will's decision to slap the living shit out of Chris Rock during the 2022 Academy Awards has earned a new title to her called the Holy Slap. The Holy Slap. Brandon, I'm not making this up. The Holy Slap. Nelly, I'm not making this up. Okay? It seems that Will Smith played a surprising role in saving their marriage, as she goes on to say this, quote, "That moment of shit hitting the fan is when you see who people really are. After years of trying to figure out if I will leave Will's side, it took that slap for me to see I will never leave him." So your husband, a superstar with a pristine image, gets up on global television, slaps the living shit out of one of the great comedians we've ever seen while the cameras are rolling for hundreds of millions of people to witness into perpetuity for years and years to come. Turns around, walks back after slapping that comedian, who's about 60 pounds lighter than him, by the way, goes back to his chair, says, "Keeps my wife's name out your fucking mouth," screaming that towards the stage while the cameras are rolling with everybody in the world to hear. And that's what it took for you to say, "I'll never leave him." I see. So what he had to do, Jada Pinkett Smith, was assault a man, expose himself to potential legal action, potentially get arrested that night, jeopardize him actually being able to accept the Oscar, because you know Chris Rock could have had him arrested on the spot. You know that the police were backstage and they could have arrested Will Smith on the spot and prevented him from accepting the Oscar. You do know that. So it took him doing that, putting himself in that position. A black man slapping another black man on a national stage. A black man sitting up there and sullying the Academy Awards. A black man sullying the opportunity for the first black man to ever direct the Oscars in Will Packer. That's what it took for you to say, "That's when I knew I would never leave him." Really? Really? Ladies everywhere, black, white, Latina, everywhere. What do y'all think about that? Is that what it takes for a man to prove his love to you? I'm just asking. To embarrass himself and somebody else, to humiliate himself by assaulting somebody else, to sit up there and say what I haven't heard enough people say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It took black people back years. Look how they act. We know some people were saying that. You know that, right? You know that, right? That's what it took for you, with all the love and the devotion and the dedication, because y'all been married for decades. That's what it took for you to say you'll never leave him. Didn't you write a book afterwards? In the book, didn't you tell your business yet again? Didn't those details serve to further emasculate and embarrass that husband that you love so much? That's what you're talking about? That's what you're talking about. You know one thing you learn listening to this about love? You realize when you listen to Jada Pinkett Smith that love clearly has more than one definition. Because clearly her definition of love is hellified different from most of us. Love. I'm having a hard time imagining how somebody could like someone that reaches that conclusion. And oh, by the way, just as an aside, please understand that there's no time constraints on Chris Rock's ability to sue you, meaning Will Smith, for what he did to Chris Rock. He could still turn around and deduce there's tremendous damage that was done to me when he slapped the living shit out of me on global television. He could still do that, you know. Would Will prove his love even more then if it ended up costing them $50 million? Do you know that Antoine Fuqua and Will Smith, in my opinion, should have won an Oscar for Emancipation? Because that's how phenomenal Will Smith was in it. We barely heard about it because of that slap. Because after he was banned from the Academy Awards for 10 years, which he didn't care to go to anyway, from what I heard, you have a lot of people who will never look at Will Smith the same. But you love him now. You'll never leave him now. So I guess that's all that matters, huh, Jada? I guess that's all that matters. Damn. Let's go to some of these tweets before I get on out of here with the calls. 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. That's the number to call up. These are your tweets that you've sent, so I'm going to read some of them. I'm going to work with you and before I get on out of here for the day. At ADHDGOAT writes, did you like the in-season tournament? Man, don't waste my time with some damn question like this. You know you see me on First Take. You know you see me on SportsCenter. You know you see me on NBA Countdown, and you damn sure see me on this show. I've been said that I like the in-season tournament. Don't ask me to repeat myself again. You're going to sit up there and take time to write a damn question. You could have came up with something better than that. Get it together. Next question, please. At Big Kai, K-E-I, 2019 writes, is Chris Bosh better than Anthony Davis? No. Who was LeBron's best big man? I would say that's Anthony Davis, okay? I would give you that. But what I would tell you is this, Anthony Davis is not his best teammate. LeBron James' best teammate was Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was who helped teach LeBron James how to win. Dwayne Wade was that big brother. You remember when LeBron James went to Miami and he was a bit scared to sit alone and take questions from the media, where Dwayne Wade had to escort him at every press conference to make sure he didn't stand alone by himself to talk to the media because the shrapnel of criticism, having that pariah stigma on his shoulders was something he had difficulty handling. Dwayne Wade was who helped him overcome all of that. He wasn't the only one, but he was the main one. So because of that, I would tell you, no, Bosh is not better than Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis, particularly with his A game, is all-world, top 7 player on the planet. But he's not LeBron James' best teammate. That would be Dwayne Wade. He's just not a big man. Anthony Davis would be LeBron's best big man. That much I will say. Next question, please. Let's go to that. At Darren STTB writes, do the Sixers need another star to pair with Embiid, or is Maxey the answer? The answer to the question is both. Maxey is the answer, but they also need an additional piece. Maybe a Zach LaVine or somebody along those lines. Embiid with Maxey is not enough. Embiid is all-world. He's special. Maxey is special as well. But it's a lot to ask for somebody as young and as talented as Maxey is. It's still a lot to ask come playoff time in a best-of-7 series for it to be just about him and Embiid. I know Tobias Harris is on that squad. I know Covington and others are on that squad. But I'm talking about you need just one more additional piece at that off-guard spot. We don't want anybody messing with Maxey at the point, but we want a big-time scorer at the 2 guard. I think it would be Zach LaVine. If Zach LaVine was to land with the Philadelphia 76ers, I think the Philadelphia 76ers' chances of coming out of the East would elevate exponentially. Next one. At Who's Breezy UK writes, Stephen A., this girl asked to hang out, but I said no because I want to go to the weekend concert in Fortnite. Was I wrong for this? I really want to go. You're not used to getting none, are you? I mean, you want to pass up a night out on a date. Now, if you said you don't want to go with her, period, because you're not interested in her, I get that. But you're basically saying, I don't want to be with her right then because I really want to go to this virtual concert right here, this video game, whatever the hell it is. This is what you're talking about. So rather than press her buttons, you'd rather press some real remote control button or whatever that's going to take you to some virtual concert or something. Really? Why didn't you ask her to join you? Do you like girls? It's a legitimate question. Because why wouldn't you ask her to go with you? Do you like her? It's a legitimate question too. But in the end, go. Do what you want to do. But I am concerned about you because you haven't entertained what you're potentially missing out on here. That's strange. I'll leave it at that. Let me go to the calls before I get on out of here for the day. Appreciate y'all hanging with me. I get some weird messages. I ain't gonna lie. I get some really, really, really weird messages. But it's time for me to take some calls, so let's get right to it. Let's get to Javal in Orlando. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Javal? Talk to me.
Oh, man, I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan for years now, Stephen A. I listened to your audiobook recently. It was very inspirational. Straight shooter was a great listen.
Thank you.
The part that touched me the most was when you talked about your brother Basil, how he said you're going to be a star, and that shortly afterwards he passed. Well, I also lost a brother, and he was very inspirational to me. So my question is, Stephen A., how do you use, back in that moment when it happened and currently now, how do you use your inspiration from grief and take that motivation to fuel you to be the brightest star that you can be?
Well, I appreciate the question, and I thank you for your comments. I think it's important, Javal, that you have to remember that when you lose someone that you love, when they pass away, remember, one of the reasons you love them so much is the kind of inspiration that they serve to provide to you. Their presence, their laugh, their level of communication, their presence, their company, all of these things play a role. And so the way to overcome some of those doldrums, some of those negative feelings, that depressive kind of thing that tends to bring you down, is engaging in recall, remembering what they said to you. One of the things that my mom said to me that was a very, very powerful statement that helped me get through so much, no matter how painful her loss has been to me, was that my mother would look at me and she says, "Why are you crying? Why are you so upset?" And I said, "I'm gonna miss you." And she says, "I understand that and I appreciate that." She said, "But you do understand this is the way it was supposed to be." She said, "Because if you love me, you don't want it to be the other way around. You don't want me to be here having to mourn you. I've prepared you for me to move on. You know what to do when I'm gone, because you know I'll always be with you and I'll always be watching over you." That is what you have to hold on to when it comes to your loved ones and the kind of inspiration that they provided to you. You have to remember that, Javal. You have to think about not just how you're feeling with them gone. You have to think about what they wanted for you while they were still alive. And you hold on to that and use that as a source of inspiration to push and march forward and to uplift yourself, because that's exactly what they would expect, because that's exactly what they want from you and what they prepared you to be able to do. All right?
That was beautiful.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. Happy holidays. Isaiah, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me. What's going on? Isaiah in Atlanta.
What's up, Stephen A?
What's up?
With the recent success with the Lakers in the in-season tournament, you know, LeBron winning the tournament and winning tournament MVP, solidifying him as the GOAT. Once his career hits an end, where do you see him, or how do you see the NBA tributing him once his legendary season?
I have
goes?
no idea.
People
I have no idea. I mean, I think there's no question that if LeBron announces this will be his last season, whenever that season occurs, city to city, arena to arena, he will be honored, and he will deserve every second of it, because what he has meant to the league, what he has done for the league, is comparable along the same lines of Kobe Bryant, of Michael Jordan, of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of Dr. J. Julius Erving, and various others. When he marches city to city, all right, you're going to revere him and celebrate him the way that you should, because there are very few people in the history of sports who deserve it more than him. That's what I see. How that will transpire remains to be seen, but that's what I see. Appreciate the call, Isaiah. Thank you so much. Trey in Emerald, Texas, you're live with Stephen A. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Stephen A., I'm good. How about you, man?
I'm great. Talk to me. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays to you, too. It's about LeBron James, all right? So, for me personally, he's the best player in the NBA today. At his age, almost 39 years old. I mean,
Today,
dominating
you said today?
Yes, he's the best player in the NBA.
Let me ask you this question, Trey. Is he better than Jokic?
Yes.
Okay. Some people would say otherwise. Jokic is a big
Because
man. He looks slower.
why.
He looks sloppy. But his numbers, his level of efficiency, his accuracy, the fact that he's a reigning defending champion and he swept LeBron James en route to winning that championship has a lot to do with what people feel. But go ahead.
Okay, I get that. But LeBron James was hurt last year.
No, he
coming
wasn't.
Off an injury.
No, that's not an excuse. We're not using that. We're not using that. He was there in the playoffs. Right. He was busting ass until he ran into Denver.
Right. And but this year, you know, like seeing him play, I mean, this dude's just dominating the NBA still at age 38. You know, and here's the thing. You know,
you're getting on my you're getting on my nerves. You're taking too long to get to your damn point. You're running out of time because you're not accurate. Go ahead.
What's your point? What's your point about? What's your thoughts about LeBron being the best player still in the game?
Listen. Right now, I would put Jokic ahead of him. I'd put LeBron right up there with Giannis. No doubt about it. The Jason Tatums of the world, the Joel Embiids of the world, no question about it. I put LeBron right in that conversation, but I can't give him a nod over Jokic because of Jokic's efficiency and the credentials. He's the champion right now. He's the reigning defending champion that swept LeBron James and Anthony Davis to pull it off. I cannot give LeBron James the edge over him. And by the way, the Lakers are 14-9 right now. So is Denver, and I get all of that. The Lakers played lights out with the in-season tournament. The other games, not so much. And LeBron is shooting like 60% from three-point range. We know that's not going to last. We know that's not going to last. And so we got to look at it from that perspective. But I get your point. Thanks a lot for the call, man. Jacob in Syracuse. Jacob in Syracuse, you're live with Stephen A. Jacob, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me, Stephen?
Go ahead, Jacob. How are you?
Good. How are you, Stephen?
I'm all right. What's going on?
All right. So I got another LeBron question for you.
Yeah.
How do you think him winning the in-season tournament affects his legacy all time?
I don't think it has much of an effect. I think when you're the first at anything, you can't ignore it, and you have to give him his props for pulling it off in his 21st season, approaching the age of 39. That is true, but it's an in-season regular tournament that took place. They played about 5 games before the championship game. He beat an Indiana squad that had no answer for Anthony Davis. We respect him, and it's a reminder of his leadership, the fact that he is the man in the NBA that carries the baton. We respect him. We revere him for that. But in the grand scheme of things, we all know what we're looking for. What you going to do come playoff time and the finals. And it's really not about him. It's really about Anthony Davis. Are you going to put up 40 and 20 in multiple games in the NBA playoffs, or are you going to score 41 game and 11 the next like you did against Jokic in the conference finals? Those are the questions that we're asking more so than anything else. But it's certainly not a blemish. It's something that's an additive to LeBron James' legacy and resume, but it's not the biggest thing in the world.
Right. Do you think he stole the in-season tournament MVP from AD?
No, AD got the MVP for the game. LeBron got it for the tournament because LeBron deserved it for the tournament and AD deserved it for the game. I got no problems with that.
That's right.
Take it easy.
All right, thank you.
No problem. I appreciate everybody calling in. Thank you so much for tuning into the Stephen A. Smith Show. I'll be back with you later on this week. I got to hit the road. I got to travel a multitude of cities between now and Friday. But I'll be back with you. You'll be hearing from me, so stick around. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show live over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.